back. Notice it says in verse 13 of chapter 4, "For we do not have a high priest who's unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin." How many of you read that and go, really? He's been tempted every way that we have, yet without sin? I mean, that's a neat sentiment, but he was God. He was man, but he was God while he was man. And so sometimes we might dismiss the idea that God, through Christ, can commiserate or somehow sympathize or have compassion in our weakness because he didn't have the same challenges we have. And to think that would be to not understand in full what the author of Hebrews is saying and the reality of what it means that God took on flesh and dwelt among us. Right? The idea of solidarity with humanity, we've established this before, that Jesus comes on the scene and he is the first one to actually display the image of God in the face of man through faithful obedience. And when it says that he has been tempted in every way that we have, yet without sin, I want you to consider it's not just when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, which is referenced later in this text. It's not just when he was spit on or tortured or ultimately goes to the cross. But have you ever considered the reality that the moment that Jesus as a human was conscious of thought, that began the battle? That every single second of his life, there was a temptation to veer from God's path, to possibly not trust in the Father's plan, to maybe serve self a little bit, possibly gossip, maybe take a second look at that girl that walked by. Like every second of his life had to be in obedience, or none of it counted. And can you imagine the pressure and the challenge of every day, every second, every moment, every thought, every word, every deed perfectly aligned with the God of the universe, but never being able to veer from that? So his life was an entire life of obedience. And so to think that he somehow can't relate to what we are challenged with is saying that you don't truly understand exactly what it means that God took on flesh and dwelt among us. And so when we read, he has been tempted in every way, but without sin, that's both a comforting thought, because now we have a mediator who has the ability to empathize in a way that no other mediator can. But we also have a mediator who, because he did not sin, has an access to the Father that no mediator ever has. And so in that, we have the perfect mediator, perfect empathy, and perfect access through the one, Jesus Christ, our Lord.